we are going to look at arithmetic sequences. And so on this first example, they're asking me to write the first 6 terms of the arithmetic sequence with the given first term, A1, and a common difference, D. So they're telling me that my first term here is 200, so that would go here. Now D stands for the common difference, and that means what you are either adding or subtracting to get to the next term. So in this case, because it's negative 60, we are subtracting. So if you take your first term and you subtract 60, you are left with 140. So my second term would be 140. And then you just continue on. So we would subtract 60 again. This time we are left with 80 for the third term. We would subtract 60 again. So this time we're left with 20 for the fourth term. And continue on. So if we subtract 60 again, now we're up to a negative 40 for the fifth term. And then finally subtract 60 again, and we are at a value of negative 100. So in general, a formula for an arithmetic sequence is this. Your nth term, whatever term you're looking for, is going to be your first term plus n minus 1 times your difference. And so when we look at this second equation that tells me to use the formula for the general term, so that's what this formula is, we are trying to find the 50th term. So n is 50. Okay, so according to what they've given me here, my first term of this particular sequence is 6. So I'm going to plug that in and then say plus, and then in parentheses I'm looking for the 50th term, so n is 50. And then I multiply 50 minus 1 times my difference, which they've told me my difference is 8. So the 50th term of this particular sequence becomes 6 plus, and then I have 49 multiplied by 8. So finally, my 50th term would be 6 plus, if I multiply 49 times 8, I have 392. And then when I add the 6, I end up with the 50th term of 398. So 398. Okay, for this last problem, we're being asked to write a formula for the general term and then use it to find the 20th term of the sequence. So remember, the general term, a of n, is equal to a of 1 plus n minus 1 times d. So we need to figure out the first term and we need to figure out the difference to be able to write this particular general formula. So when I look at the sequence they've given me, 4 is my first term. Alright, we're writing this in terms of n. When I look at the difference, when I take the second term minus the first, I get a difference of 8. And just to double check and make sure it is arithmetic, then your third term minus your second should be the same thing. So 8 is my common difference here. So then I'm going to simplify this. I've got 4 plus. When I distribute the 8, I get an 8n minus 8. So in general, 8n, 4 minus 8 would leave me with minus 4. So that's the first thing they're looking for there, is just a formula for it. And then they ask me to find the 20th term. So now with that formula, if I plug in n equal 20, I'm going to get 8 times 20 minus 4. So that would be 160 minus 4 is equal to 156. So that is the general looking at arithmetic sequences. We can apply it in the real world. For example, if we were looking at jobs that had a salary increase that was the same amount each year, let's say they gave a $1,000 raise each year, you could treat that like an arithmetic sequence. And so you could figure out, if my salary during my starting year was 20,000 and they're going to give me a raise of 1,000 each year, you could look at what would be in 10 years. So that would be the, look at, or during your 10th year, the 10th term of that particular sequence.